famous but unattributed quote says, "If you want to believe in your purpose, you have to keep company with people who believe in your purpose too." This is something we need to remember because there will come a time, whether it's during this cohort or sometime in your transition or even later on in life, when you're going to question everything that you're doing and why you're doing it. In those times that seem so dire, you may need someone to stand behind you, encourage you, or push you forward. And the support networks you build today can be the people you need to lean on tomorrow. When someone is going through significant change or growth in their life, a support network can be a critical factor in their success or failure. For veterans, it's even more important to have networks of people who understand what life is like in the military or who share similar challenges or worldviews, because they can support you when you need it, offer advice through a lens of someone who has also been there, and provide accountability for you to actually meet the goals that you've set out in front of you. Unfortunately, we hear from veterans more and more that building these networks is hard, especially for those whose brotherhood or sisterhood was a part of daily life and is now simply just one piece of a life that is in a constantly shifting state. So here, we're going to explore the 4 circles of support you may have, as well as common roles of support networks that you can develop going forward. First, consider yourself as the center of your own universe for a moment, with different circles extending out from you. These circles represent relationships and their closeness or proximity to you. The first level, or circle, we'll call your inner circle. This circle is comprised of people the closest to you, maybe a spouse, a best friend, or a sibling. Regardless of who they are to you, these people will be the ones who know your history and your plans for the future and support you wholeheartedly to succeed, to the point that they may even actively participate in the process alongside you. In the next level, we have what we'll call the medial circle. These people are close. You would probably hang out with them for longer periods of time, and they likely know a lot about what is going on in your life, but they probably aren't as close as that inner circle. This group also wants your success and will help you achieve it if you ask, but is probably not as much of an active participant. Then we move out to the outer circle. These are people who you have a friendly relationship with, but it may not be especially close. These are more likely coworkers or those you might go to lunch or grab a beer with, but not much else. This group is friendly, but more often than not, pretty ambivalent to you in your personal life in an active way. And finally, you have your extended orbit. These are people you may have met once or twice, or strangers, or family or friends that you're estranged from. It's unlikely that this group would play much of a part in your growth process, and sometimes they can even hinder it. So once you identify the players in your life and which circle they belong in, it's far easier to see who comprises your support system, with the inner and medial circles being the ideal place to generate active support for your process. If you feel, however, that your personal support systems are lacking, there are other places and ways to go to find the support you need, from large cohort groups to one-on-one coaching. So let's break down some of these more external groups. First, cohorts are a great way to connect with people who are either going through the same type of change as you, like the one you're in now, or who are going in the same direction as you are. Consider a group focused on finding jobs and building networks specifically in cybersecurity. When cohorts are invested in, they can be a powerful way to build connections and create new relationships with an automatic connection and familiarity. Then, slightly smaller, usually, peer networks can appear in various forms. Larger companies may have their own corporate networks for veterans, as an example. Local communities may have separate networks for women veterans or for business owners or even branch-specific groups. There are a number of ways to locate these groups, and you can ask your employer or your local veterans service organization or search them out online through LinkedIn or other community pages. The smallest, but sometimes closest relationships can be built through mentorship, a process in which an experienced person, a mentor, provides guidance, support, and advice to a less experienced person, the mentee, in order to help them achieve their personal or professional goals. Mentorship can take many forms, from one-on-one coaching sessions and informal conversations to structured programs and formal agreements. But either is a great way to have someone to lean on for personal advice as you walk through your transition. The one-on-one connection means you'll have someone else out there fighting for you and holding you accountable, as they are also usually well connected with other resources that you may also need down the road. And that is the key for all support systems, to build them now when you don't need them, so that they're in place when you finally do. It's much, much harder to ask for help when you feel like you're drowning in change. So taking the time now to identify your network and reaching out to them can be very helpful. Let them know what you're doing and think through ways that they might be able to help you along the way. Don't be afraid to ask. Remember, the people in your innermost circles want you to succeed, as do the people in external groups who sign up for that sense of community.